Good evening, everyone. I am going to call this meeting to order. This is the August 14, 2024 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. My name is Andy Kottkamp, and I've been appointed by the City of Pasco to serve as the Land Use Hearing Examiner. My job is to render decisions and, in some cases, recommended decisions on various items that are authorized to come before me, which include all the items that are on the agenda for today. I will consider any testimony and evidence presented at tonight's hearing, as well as all the written materials that are already on file in order to make my decision. Now, the hearing process does have certain rules, but I'll try to conduct the meeting in a relaxed and informal manner, but we still have a process we're going to use. We'll take each item separately, and for each item, staff will present their report and make whatever recommendations that they wish to make. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representative will be given an opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. The applicant does have the burden of proof to show compliance with all the applicable rules and regulations. Then if somebody in the public comes to testify, I will give them that opportunity to do so. And if there is any testimony in opposition to the project, I will give the applicant an opportunity to submit whatever rebuttal testimony they wish to make. Because the applicant has the burden of proof, the applicant gets the last opportunity to submit testimony and evidence. If you are going to testify, I'll have you come up to that podium on the right side of the hearing room for you. I'll have you state your name and address, and then I will swear you in as a witness. And ask that you keep your testimony relevant to this application that we're talking about and not to other issues beyond the scope of the proposal. If you have anything in writing, we can make those arrangements for you to submit them tonight. For folks in the public that came today, I want to remind everybody this is not a time for you to come in and ask questions or get answers to your questions. This is a time for you to present your testimony and evidence as to how the project does or does not comply with the applicable rules and regulations. So questions of staff or the applicant or the hearing examiner are not going to be allowed tonight. Now, I do have the option following this hearing to keep the record open if I think there's a need for additional written testimony to be submitted, but in any event, my written decision will be made within 10 working days after I close the public record. Now, for the first three items on the agenda for the special permits, my decision on each of these matters will be final and conclusive unless they are appealed. Appeals are by means of a land use petition action that have to be filed within 21 days of the date of the issuance of my decision. Those are filed with Franklin County Superior Court. And if your appeal isn't timely filed, your appeal will be barred. The last item on today's agenda, the request for a zone change. On that matter, I make a recommendation to City Council, and City Council will hold the final hearing and will make a final decision, and it is that decision that is appealable. My recommendation is not appealable. But this is your only time to be able to get your testimony and evidence on the record, because when the City Council has its hearing, it has what's called a closed record hearing, and there won't be any additional testimony or evidence presented at that hearing. City Council will only be provided with the evidence admitted into the record at this hearing, and then they will make the final decision on that matter. So with that, outside of receiving and reviewing the staff report and application materials and comments, noticing documents, maps, drawings, other than essentially receiving the entire planning staff file for each item, I've not had any communication regarding any of the items that are on today's agenda. And then I also should state that I've reviewed the items on today's agenda, and I don't have any interest in any of the properties or the proposals to be heard today, and I will be able to fairly and objectively consider each item. Those representations, if there is anybody here today who objects to my participation as the hearing examiner for any of these items, if you have an objection, you need to come forward and state so at this time. All right, seeing no movement, we'll turn to the first item on today's agenda. This is an application, given application number SP 2024-005. This is an application for a, how's it characterized, a community service level 2 facility, a residential care facility. This is on property located within the city of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in all the application materials. For the record, I will admit into the record at this time by this reference that staff report, all of the application materials, the public comments that have come in, including the two late public comments by Kathy Holloway and Michael Burge. I've received and reviewed those. There are noticing documents, maps, drawings, photographs, other notices. I'm going to admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference and turn this matter over to Mr. Hattori for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Yes, this is SP, standing for Special Permit 2024-005, the Sundance Residential Care Facility. The proposal is located on the undeveloped western portion of a lot address 1620, Road 44, parcel 119-121-156 in Pasco, Washington. The property is zoned O office, which permits unconditional uses such as a community service level 2 facility via special permits, and the proposed site is approximately 0.92 acres in size. The applicant proposes to construct an approximately 9,000 square foot single story enhanced service facility equipped with 16 live-in resident beds as defined by WAC 388-107. The project includes amenities such as a residential style kitchen and several gathering areas for activities. Exterior improvements include a parking lot, sidewalk, landscaping, and stormwater retention facilities. Notice of the public hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet and published in the Tri-City Herald newspaper on July 28, 2024. While the site is zoned O office, the underlying comprehensive plan designation is low density residential. However, unclassified uses such as community service level 2 facilities may be permitted in all zonings permitted in the low density designation. The facility would have 12 to 18 staff members on 3 to 4 shifts. The proposed facility would be constructed with a residential appearance in consideration of the residential nature of the neighborhood, and the site is accessed from Road 44. With that said, staff recommends approval of a special permit for the construction and use of a community service level 2 facility located at 1620 Road 44, with conditions as stated in the August 14th, 2024 staff report.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hattori. Is the applicant ready to proceed?
It does not appear the applicant is here.
Was the applicant given notice of the date, place, and time of the hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Did any member of the public come to testify on this matter? If so, you can come forward at this time.
It does not appear there is anyone here to speak on this matter.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hattori. So what I'm going to do is I am going to close the public record portion of this hearing, and I will have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. Turn to the next item on today's agenda. Excuse me. This is application number SP 2024-010. This is an application that has been submitted for a barber school to be located on property located within the city of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report as well as in the application materials. For the record, I'm going to admit into the record the staff report, the application materials. There's vicinity maps and zoning maps and comprehensive plan maps and photographs, comments that have come through. I'm going to admit all those items. Indeed, I'll admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And again, turn this matter over to Mr. Hattori for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. This is application SP, standing for Special Permit 2024-010, the Gonzalez Barber School. The proposal is located within a multi-tenant building addressed 208 North 4th Avenue, Suite 210, parcel 112-053-377 in Pasco, Washington. The property is zoned C1 retail business, which permits unconditional uses such as schooling type uses via special permit. The site is approximately 0.06 acres in size, and the applicant proposes to operate a barber school within an existing building tenant space that has historically provided barber services. Notice of the public hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet and published in the Tri-City Herald newspaper on July 28th, 2024. The existing building has 3 commercial tenant spaces and is not expected that the use of the barber school would be more objectionable than that of the previous barbershop use. The site would be accessed from North 4th Avenue. And with that, staff recommends approval of a special permit for the use of a barber school at 208 North 4th Avenue, Suite 210, with conditions as stated in the August 14th, 2024 staff report.
All right, thank you again, Mr. Hattori. Is the applicant ready to proceed on this matter?
Hello,
Hi, can I have your name and an address, please?
Linda Gonzalez. It's 210 North 4th Avenue.
All right, I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me, please. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
True. Yes.
Okay. All right, and you are the applicant for this matter, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I always ask a couple of questions of applicants at the beginning just to maybe make things go a little more efficiently. Have you had a chance to look at the staff report?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any objection with anything that is contained within the staff report, any of the representations?
I don't understand.
Well, if you've read the staff report, is there anything that's wrong in there? Is there anything that's incorrect in there? Is there anything that you think is in there that shouldn't be in the staff report?
It looked good to me when Andrew helped me.
All right. And there's 2 proposed conditions of approval. Have you looked at those?
It's what you gave me, Andrew, correct? Yes. Yes, I looked at those.
And do you have any objection with either of those?
No.
All right. Those are the questions I get out of the way for the applicants. And for those of you who might be applicants in the audience, I will be asking you the same questions. So, Ms. Gonzalez, what would you like to tell me?
We're just happy being downtown since 2008. We love Pasco. We are wanting to change the use of a barbershop salon. Since 2008, we have previously been there. I think a barber school will help students. We'd be able to share knowledge to students for 20 years of experience. Would be great to provide student services to the Pasco community, Tri-Cities, and all surrounding areas. We want to accomplish students' dreams and goals to become a licensed barber. We'll also be giving free haircuts for students to practice supervised by teachers. The barber school will be important for the community as well as the local economy. We will continue to give back to our community. We will provide more experience and job opportunities. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll turn this over to the public now. Did any member of the public come to testify on this matter?
It does not
Doesn't
appear
look like
so.
anybody's. Yep. Okay. What I'm going to do, Ms. Gonzalez, is I'm going to close the record on this matter, and I will have a written decision made within the next 10 working days.
Okay, thank
The
you.
next item, you're very welcome. Have a nice night.
You too.
Third item on today's agenda is also a special permit, given application number SP 2024-011. This is an application also for a hair academy to be located on property located within the city of Pasco. That is more specifically identified in the staff report as well as in all the application materials. For the record, I will admit into the record at this time by this reference, that staff report, those application materials, the noticing documents, the photographs, the zoning maps, I'll admit all those items. Indeed, I will admit the entire planning staff file into the record at this time by this reference. And I understand turning this matter over to Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. As mentioned, this is special permit SP 2024-011 for the New York Hair Academy. This this project is located at 514 West Clark Street, which is parcel 112042058. The site is zone C2 in the central business district of the city. The site is approximately 3,500 square feet, and applicant Cecilia, I can't pronounce her last name, Petriarce, Petrearce, wishes to operate a beauty school at this address, 514 West Clark Street. Notice of the public hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the subject property and to the newspaper on July 22nd, 2024. Applicant proposes to operate a beauty school within that existing 2,800 square foot single-story building that is on a 3,500 square foot site. That site has historically provided retail clothing and variety sales, tax services, professional health services, retail arts and crafts sales, and barber and beauty services. Currently a barber shop. As stated before, the site is located within the downtown Pasco overlay district, and the downtown Pasco overlay district does not require the provision of on-site parking. Per PMC 25.200.010 unclassified uses enumerated in PMC 25.200.020 due to their nature are deemed to require special permit review on a case-by-case basis. Their impacts on adjacent uses within the vicinity and infrastructure which would serve them. And per Pasco Municipal Code 25.200.020 subsection 1, vocational schools, business colleges, and other similar academic or skill training facilities or institutions shall be considered unclassified uses, and as such require review through the special permit process. Per Pasco Municipal Code 25.195.020 subsection 6, the hearing examiner has the authority to make decisions on land use decisions described in Pasco Municipal Code 2.50.080, such as special permits. The proposed approval conditions are that number 1, the special permit shall apply to parcel 112042058 and any subsequent subdivisions thereof. And number 2, the applicant shall adhere to all federal, state, and city building, fire, and safety codes. With that, staff recommends approval of a special permit for the use at Lot 7, Block 14, Jerry's Addition to Pasco, located at 514 West Clark Street, parcel 112042058, as a beauty school with conditions as herein proposed.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Adams. Is the applicant ready to proceed? If so, come on forward. Hi, who's going to testify?
Hi, here, Marcos. I will be translating for my teacher, Cecilia, here.
All right. Can she tell me her name?
Cecilia Petrearce.
And I have the spelling Petreace. Is that correct?
Sí.
Yeah.
All right. And ma'am, are you the applicant for this permit?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to read or have read to you the staff report that such is the same as Mr. Adams just gave us?
Sí.
Yes.
And do you agree with the staff report?
¿Y que sí está de acuerdo con el staff report?
Yes.
Okay, and those two conditions that Mr. Adams just talked about, do you agree with those? Basically that you comply with all federal, local, state rules and regulations.
Que cumpláis con todas las reglas del estado.
Sí, estoy de acuerdo.
Dígale.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Decirlo usted.
Now, with that out of the way, what else would you like to tell me about this?
¿Qué más quisiera decirle de esto usted?
No, me pongo de acuerdo que ellos determinen.
She said she's agreeing and with you guys determining the decision.
And this is going to be a beauty school?
That's it on the beauty school.
Yes.
And will there still also be, will it be a beauty salon too, where people can make appointments and come in and get their hair cut?
Que si va a ser un beauty salon donde la gente puede venir y hacer sus citas también.
En la parte de enfrente es barbería y en la parte de atrás es la beauty school.
And the front part of the building it's a barber shop, and in the back it will be a beauty school.
Okay. All right. And what else? You don't have to, but what else would you like to tell me?
No tiene que, pero ¿qué más quisiera decirle?
Pues soy una academia que he trabajado por 3 años. Mi clientela de estudiantes ha crecido y por esa razón quiero cambiarme a un edificio más grande para poder brindar mejor
She said she's been in the business for almost 3 years, and she is recently moving because she needs a bigger space because her school is growing, and she needs to switch for a wider area for her students to be more comfortable.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, ma'am?
¿Algo más que quisiera agregar?
No, es todo,
No,
gracias.
that will be all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Was there any member of the public that came to testify on this matter? All right, not seeing any. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing, and I will have my written decision made within the next 10 working days. That moves us very quickly down to the last item on today's agenda. This is application given number Z2024-003. This is a request to rezone some property located within the city of Pasco from residential suburban 20 down to R1 zoning. This again relates to property located within the city of Pasco that is more specifically described in the staff report, as well as in all the application materials. And for the record, I'm going to admit into the record at this time by this reference, not only that staff report, but all of the file materials, the file of record that's going to include photographs and zoning maps and comprehensive plan maps and comments that have come through. There's been agency comments and public comments. I'm going to admit all those items into the record at this time by this reference. There were also some public comments that were submitted prior to the hearing, but not included in my packet from, I'm just going to have to bear with me while I go through these. That one's not opening up. Brad Peck, Judy Nellis, Pete, it's not opening up, I don't know. Pete somebody and Stoudak, but Mr. Adams, you can clarify those for me. I apologize that I'm not able to open them up. In any event, all those items and all those public comments are going to be admitted into the record at this time and by this reference. Let me make sure here. Yeah, And I'll turn this matter again over to Mr. Adams for his staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Again, this is rezone application Z 2024-003, Alvarado Place rezone. The location is 9903 West Court Street, parcel number 118292143. The site is currently zoned RS20, and it is approximately 3.17 acres of land. Applicant Cody Fielding, acting on behalf of Haven Capital LLC, wishes to amend the zoning of short plat number 94-7, located approximately 300 feet east of the intersection of Road 100 and West Court Street, from RS20 to, which is suburban district, to R1, which is low density residential district. Public notice of this hearing was mailed to property owners within 300 feet of the site and published in the Tri-City Herald on July 22, 2024. The site was annexed into the city in 2015 under Ordinance 4222 and assigned RS20 Suburban District zoning under Ordinance 4221 in conjunction with the annexation. The rezone would support a proposed infill subdivision project being submitted in conjunction with this rezone. On January 24, 2022, Council approved Ordinance 4575, changing the purpose of the R1 zone and adding 0 lot line dwellings, multiple dwellings, duplexes, triplexes, and courtyard apartments to the mix of allowed uses in the R1 zoning district. The density requirement in PMC 25.45.050 was also amended to eliminate the 1 unit per lot development restriction. So a rezone from RS20 to R1 would allow R1 density residential development to occur along a major arterial street. The rezone would allow for residential density between 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre. And the rezone application and proposal are consistent with the council-approved comprehensive plan. McLaughlin Middle School is approximately 3/4 of a mile from the site, and the entrance walkway to Chiawana Park, which borders the Columbia River, is across West Court Street from the site. The site is located approximately 1/2 mile from Pasco Fire Station 85 on Road 100. And the site is adjacent existing single-family development and some vacant land. Applicant also submitted applications for a 14-lot preliminary plat. I'm going to bring that up here. And a 20-foot right-of-way vacation. And you can see on the east side of this lot, there is a white line there that represents a 20-foot right-of-way that was deeded to the city with the original 2-lot short plat, but it has never been developed or used. And the vacation would be necessary for the subdivision, and the rezone would be necessary for the subdivision because of the density requirements. And so that street vacation, or the right of vacation, is being presented to council at this time. Current zoning of the site is RS20, which requires a 20,000 foot minimum lot size. And the rezone is a prerequisite to preliminary plat approval of application PP, which is preliminary plat 2024-005, since the lots in the preliminary plat average 7,938 square feet. Approval of the plat as submitted would also be contingent upon the 20-foot right-of-way vacation, which is vacation VAC 2024-003, as mentioned above, as the proposed plat density includes that proposed right-of-way area. The vacated 20-foot right-of-way would need to be included in the rezone as it is part of the proposed plat. And as Mr. Examiner has mentioned, we received 4 letters from surrounding neighbors, one from Pete and Candy McGrail, one from Judy Nellis, one from Randall Stoudaker, I think that's pronounced, I'm guessing there, and then one from Brad and Deborah Peck and others. It has a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total signatories, or 9 plus spouse signatories. So those 4 letters, and with that, I'll turn it back over to the examiner.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Adams, for your presentation. Turn this over to the applicant now. Is the applicant ready to proceed? I don't see any movement. Mr. Adams, is the applicant there?
Let me check the online. Does not appear that he is here.
All right, was the applicant given notice of the date, place, time of the hearing?
He was.
All right, thank you very much. I see some other folks in the room, though. Does anybody wish to testify? And I would say if you've already submitted a written comment, you don't need to read that comment into the record. It's already in the record. But I'm not going to turn you away if you want to testify as to something additional. So would any member of the public wish to testify on this matter? And I'll just have you state your name and address when you get up to the podium.
Button.
There
Okay,
we go.
thank you. Brad Peck, 10006 West Court Street, about 325 feet to the south-southwest of the subject property.
Sir, do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And sir, what would you like to tell me?
I'd like to start by reading the list of property owners in the immediate vicinity of the property who were signatories to the letter that's been referenced. Those names have not yet been entered into the record other than the letter that was submitted. They represent 16, actually not 9, but 16 individual property owners, in some cases spouses. They are Randall and Diane Staudaker, Marilyn and Katie Coffrin, Mike and Judy Nellis, Valoria Loveland, Mike and Julie Bean, Nikki Milne, Peter and Candy McGrail, Todd and Linda Calvert, Brad and Deborah Peck. I have some comments about the staff report when you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
Okay, I didn't know if you had any comments on that. The staff package speaks in bullet number 3 about facts, and they state as a fact that this is consistent with the city's comp plan. I don't believe it is. It is consistent to the extent that low-density residential in that area does include R1 as well as RS20. But the list, or the limit on the number of dwelling units, as I understand, is not necessarily binding on the applicants. What they put forward together as a proposed plat, should they be rezoned R1, would not be binding, and in my opinion, they could subsequently change that and do as many as, by my math, 19 housing units in that same 3.17 acre area. So I don't know that it's accurate to say that it is factually in compliance with the comp plan. The comp plan doesn't envision that. It does not appear to be consistent with the 2015 annexation and the city council's comments on that annexation, the intent for the property. I wanted to also note that in the staff report, they state as a fact that this would be in the best interest of the health, safety, and general welfare of the community. As someone who lives there, and along with the other signatories to the letter I've already referenced, were unanimous in our opinion that in fact would not be beneficial to health, safety, and welfare. In fact, would be just the opposite. It would have a deleterious effect. We already have a recognized and documented through local law enforcement problem with traffic and speeders up and down that street. It doesn't necessarily extend that whomever might live in these new lots would necessarily be a speeder, but we do have issues with high traffic already. I'll offer just for the record that until about 6 months ago, I was a Franklin County Commissioner. I served 15 years in that role. I had extensive exposure to land use and land use planning, and the code is well intended but broad, and these matters need to be looked at carefully and individually. There's been a lot of talk by the state legislature and locally about the need for infill affordable housing in our communities. There's been great pressure to do pocket developments on 5-acre unincorporated donut holes within the city of Pasco. I have supported those generally because they've been well positioned, they've been well developed. There has been a shortage of infill housing, and it does work to the greater goals of the state's comprehensive plan and the Growth Management Act to avoid expanding out into the rural areas before we make reasonable use of areas within the city limits in these donut holes. The difficulty is that development has a long, long tail, especially when interest rates are high and money is expensive. And in the time that this proposal has been working its way forward, we have seen groundbreaking on a 500 unit residential complex just a 1.5-minute drive, 2 minutes drive to the west of this site. It's on the opposite side of Interstate 182, which provides a reasonable and I think GMA appropriate buffer from the inherently and consistently, traditionally single family homes on the near side, on the what would be the south or southeast side of Interstate 182. But that traffic, those 500 housing units, are going to have two ways to go. One is going to be north along a road that becomes a parallel road to the interstate and eventually gets north of 182 at Broadmoor Road 100. And that's a lengthy trek. Anyone who is looking to go in the south side of the interstate is going to come immediately out of their housing area onto Court Street, and within about 90 to 120 seconds will be in the vicinity of this intersection. So I foresee a substantial increase in traffic, and anything we can do to mitigate that impact we'll be pressing to do. But 500 units in the immediate vicinity, add to that a couple of miles, maybe 3-4 miles to the northwest along Burns Road, just west of Road 100 Broadmoor Boulevard, we've seen explosive growth in apartments, which will soon be followed by townhouses. So we do not have a shortage of infill housing. The tail that it takes to get things developed is just starting to come around. But the mental mindset that people have about a shortage of housing is from the last 2 years of dialogue. And that problem is on the threshold of going away, and we need to be looking at a change in perspective where we simply stop looking at every little 2, 3, 4 acre piece and try to cram as much infill as we can into it on the premise that we're short of housing, and recognize that we no longer have a shortage and will soon, I believe, have a glut of that type of housing. I have rental property in Pasco. I've already seen what the impact is on the number of people attracted to our properties, where a year ago we would have 30 to 40 applicants. Now in the same time frame we might have 6. That's not a bad thing. That means there's more opportunity and costs are probably going down for people looking for that housing. But it's a clear indicator to me that the shortage is nearly behind us and soon behind us. And so any justification for developing 3.7 acres into 19 housing units in a historically and clearly single family residential neighborhood, I don't think is at all warranted. The other thoughts that I had are already contained in the letter that's been provided. The low density does, as I've already said, includes R1, but the package submitted by the city envisions that as 4 to 6 units, and I don't think that once rezoned R1, that the applicant would be bound by that. And I think that's a key thing to consider.
I would agree with you because I'm not considering any underlying permit application.
Right,
Quite frankly, that doesn't mean anything to me because if the city council approves the rezone, the applicant can do with the property what the new zone allows. So,
right. And so for the record, that would allow them to do 19 housing units, which I'll close with, is not in the best interest of the health, safety, and general welfare of that long-established residential community.
thank you very much, Mr. Peck. Did anybody else wish to testify? Your name and address, please.
My name's Pete McRail. I live at 10,002A West Court Street in Pasco.
All right, sir, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, please. And do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
All right, sir, what would you like to tell me?
Well, I'd just like to echo what my neighbor Brad Peck had said, but my perspective on this is kind of simple. I did a simple chat GPT search before coming to this hearing, and was asking the AI, what are some of the primary purposes of zoning regulations? And one of the top 3 that came up in that response was maintaining the character of a neighborhood. So probably all of you are familiar with this neighborhood here in West Pasco, where this applicant is trying to get the rezone approved. This is a single family neighborhood. It's been that way for many decades. And what I want to advocate here is the denial of this rezoning permit for the very simple reason that changing the character of this neighborhood to a very high density 20 unit parcels on this property would fundamentally change the character of my neighborhood. It would affect my property values. It would affect safety. There's a bike path right there that goes down to Chiawana Park. All of these factors make me adamantly opposed to approving this rezone application. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. McGraw. Would anybody else like to provide any testimony on this matter? Just come on up. I'm not going to call on anybody. Sir, your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Corley. I live at 9812 Court Street, Pasco.
What's your last name again, sir?
Corley.
All right, perfect. Please raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
Yes, very briefly, I'd just like to affirm the comments made of my 2 colleagues who preceded me. I live across the street from the development, and I believe their comments are correct and to the point, and I also would like to object to this rezoning. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, anybody else wish to testify?
Hi, my name is Debbie Preston, and I own the property at 9904 Court Street. And my property sits directly next to the end of the bike path in that lot that's there.
I need to put you under oath.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
Yes.
All right, now what would you like to tell me?
If I could have signed the letter that he presented, I would have signed that as well. I didn't know about it. I did call the city of Pasco to get a little information on this, but I didn't read the report that apparently was available. One of the problems that I have with it is parking, because I know that most residents have more than 2 cars, and so I would assume these people will need to park on Court Street. And this 3-acre parcel doesn't have very much street access as it is. So would there be street parking available for these people? Would they be able to park on the street?
First of all, this is not a time for
Oh,
questions.
I'm sorry.
I said that at the start.
Okay, you did. Okay, so,
And we're not talking about the project application. It's unfortunate it's been brought up and that they filed it, not unfortunate that they filed it, but
okay.
this
Well,
is just whether or not the property should be rezoned and the criteria, specific criteria for a rezone to be approved.
okay,
That's what I'm looking at.
okay. So I guess rather than ask the question, I just want to bring that up as a possible, to me, that would be a problem, that they're going to need more than just their driveways to park in, and they'll be parking on Court Street. And right now, where the bike path ends, there are already people that park on that side of Court Street in order to go down the bike path. But also just the fact that, as these other gentlemen stated, it's a majestic neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's an aspirational neighborhood. I'm not a rich person. I saved long and hard to move to this beautiful place, and I never would have thought that I would be facing having this across the street from my house. So I guess that's all I want to say is I'm opposed to it for that reason. It would certainly change the nature of the neighborhood as well as pose traffic problems. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to talk.
All right, thank you very much for coming in. Would anybody else like to testify? Your name and address, please?
My name's Steve Schaefer. I own the property 9904 West
How
Court
do you
Street.
spell your last name, Mr. Schaefer?
Shaffer.
All right, I'll have you raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give today will be the truth?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. What would you like to tell me, sir?
I couldn't say it any better than the rest of these guys said. I totally oppose rezoning that piece of property. And that's pretty much all I got to say because they said it all. Thank you.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much. And your name and address, please?
Deborah Peck, 1006 West Court.
And I know I can get the spelling off of the letter, but is it D-E-B-O-R-A-H?
Just DEBRA.
Oh, well, I made it much more complicated. All right, there we go. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that any testimony you give tonight will be the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. And what would you like to tell me?
So I am a neighbor, but I'm here also for the people that don't know about this proposed zone change, and I do believe it's zoned properly at RS20 large lot. The people I'm worried about that I wish knew what was going on are all the pedestrians, all the families, the bikers, the joggers, the people pushing strollers that are running all along Court Street to get to the entrance of Chiawana Park. I live west of that entrance, and I do walk that way, and I do believe it would be a public safety hazard to increase the number of vehicles coming in and out of an R1, no matter what they want to do with it. RS20 is proper, considering that Chiawana Park entrance, that it feeds the entire area, not just the neighbors close by, but people come from all over. If you're a biker, you run from Chiawana Park all along Court to get over to the concrete bridge. And it just, to me, there wouldn't be a worse place to try to add small lot development on Court. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Peck. Is there anybody else who wish to offer any testimony on this tonight? All right, Mr. Adams, is there anybody online?
I am not seeing anybody.
All right, thank you. Is there anything further from staff?
No, sir.
All right, folks, what I'm going to do is I am going to close the record on this hearing at this time now. I will make a recommendation to the city council within the next 10 working days. Once again, I just make a recommendation and city council is the one that will make the final decision on this request. Thank you all very, very much for coming out today. There are no other items on tonight's agenda. So I'm now going to adjourn this August 14, 2024 meeting of the Pasco Hearing Examiner. Everybody have a pleasant evening. This meeting's adjourned.